Hey, my name is Scott Daniel from Douglasville, Georgia, and I'm here at Cruising the Coast 20th anniversary, and I brought down a 1961 Buick Invicta. This is a car that I saw 5 to 7 years ago while looking at a 65 Charger that I passed on, but for some reason it came back to me in a dream in May of 2016. I located the original, or the person that owned the car, back in New Georgia, which is Paulding County, Georgia. Tracked him down, talked with him, and went and looked at the car and ended up buying it from him in June. This is a very original car. There was some body work that was done originally on the passenger side. It is a 401 Nailhead with a Dynaflow transmission. The Invicta, there's not a lot of information out on the YouTube or on the internet, but you know, thank goodness we're trying to put some additional information out there. This car came with a lot of factory options: factory air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, power antenna, power driver's seat. This car actually came as a bucket seat car with a wooden console in the middle of the two bucket seats. So we're trying to keep everything original as we can. Any old parts that we need to work on, we're going to restore it. But we're glad to bring Vic down to Cruising the Coast, and hope that you guys will see more of us in the future.
Where does this sort of stack up in the Buick range in the 60s?
Evidently this was just one of their larger full-bodied vehicle. I actually found a 61 LeSabre in Ocean Springs yesterday. Didn't have all of the options that this car had on it, but the body style was the same, the running gear was the same, but it did come with a smaller V8 engine. This one came with the Nailhead, which also had the Wildcat 445 torque conversion in it, so you get a lot of push off at the starting line, and evidently this car was used to haul people around, but I would imagine that it might have made the drag strip a time or two. But you know, everything's running good. Power windows on it are all working fantastic, so we're just trying to keep it as a survivor and keep it running and going to car shows and letting people see it.
What's your favorite thing about owning this car? I know you've only owned it a little while, but you sound very passionate about it. What do you love?
The lines on this car are absolutely gorgeous. It is a bubble top car, very similar to the 61 Impalas. So as you look at the car from the side, and I hope you'll get a chance, we'll see the contour and the beautiful lines of it with the windows down, and it also looks good with the windows rolled up. And here again, they're all power, so no cranking except for the side vent windows.
Why would you suggest someone get in something a little more eccentric like the Invicta?
Well, there's a lot of 55 through 57 Chevrolets and Fords here at the show again. A lot of remanufactured parts are out throughout the country, but I'm having a hard time finding any parts for the Invicta at this time, just because it was a low numbers production car, and to find one that's a survivor is just, you know, a rare gem. So I've had a lot of interest in the car. I've had a couple of offers on it, even though it's not for sale, but we're going to take it and enjoy it. You know, I've got 2 grandkids at home. I've got an 8-year-old and a soon-to-be 4-year-old, and went to Washington in June with my family, and of course my 3-year-old granddaughter jumped in the back seat thinking we were fixing to drive this car to Washington, but had to disappoint her a little bit. But you know, the lines on the car to me are amazing. The power package that came available to the public back at that time just had a lot of perks as well, and I like the options that the factory provided on this car. You know, I'm going to be an old man one of these days, but cranking up the windows is not something that I really want to continue to do. Pushing a button, even though it's an old button, is something that I can handle. This car is 55 years old, so you know, it's almost as old as I am.
Well, I mean, in closing, anything else you want to tell us?
Would just invite all of you to, if you find an old car, this was truly a car that was found in a barn. You know, like I said, 5 to 7 years ago. I passed on another car I was looking at. The car had dust, bird droppings, and everything else on it. From what I understand, the old barn burnt. The car was saved before it burnt, and it came to me in a dream in May of 2016. I got in touch with the owner that had it, and he was ready to sell it, and I was ready to buy it, so it worked out for both parties.